Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about something I think we all struggle with, procrastination. That little voice that says, I'll do it tomorrow. Well, my tomorrow pile was getting pretty huge, so I decided to try something a little different. I had a 10-minute chat with an AI called Call Annie, just to see if I could get a fresh perspective. And honestly, what came out of it was so helpful, I just had to share it with you all. So grab a coffee, get comfy, and let's dive into what I learned. I started the call by just being honest. I said, Annie, I'm stuck. I have this big project and I know what I need to do, but I just can't start. I keep putting it off, and now the deadline is looming and the anxiety is real. I figured, what's the point in pretending? Annie's first question was simple, but it really hit home. She asked, what's the very first, smallest step you could take? Not the whole project, not even the first major task, just one tiny action. I thought about it. The project is building a new website for a client. The first step in my head was design the homepage layout, which felt massive, but the smallest step, I guess, just creating a new folder on my computer and naming it after the project. It sounds almost ridiculously small, right? But that was the point. Annie explained this concept called the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to do, just do it now. Don't put it on a to-do list. Don't schedule it for later. Just get it done. Creating that folder, that takes, 10 seconds. So I did it right there while we were talking. And you know what? It felt good. It was a tiny win, but it was a win. It broke the inertia. Then Annie asked me, what are you afraid of? And I was like, whoa, getting deep here. But I thought about it. I wasn't afraid of the work itself. I was afraid of it not being perfect. Was afraid of the client not liking my design, of all my effort being for nothing. This fear of failure was paralyzing me before I even started. This is where Annie introduced me to the idea of separating the doing from the judging. She suggested I schedule specific times for creation and specific, separate times for editing or reviewing. During the creation phase, the goal is just to produce. It doesn't have to be good. It just has to get done. The motto is done is better than perfect. Give yourself permission to create a messy first draft. You can always refine it later. The important thing is to have something to refine in the first place. So my new plan for the website design wasn't to design the perfect homepage. It was to spend 25 minutes creating a rough wireframe, no judgment allowed. This technique, which many of you might know as the Pomodoro technique, was the next piece of the puzzle. Work in focused 25-minute bursts, then take a 5-minute break. This makes the task feel way less daunting. Instead of facing a mountain of 8 hours of work, you're just committing to 25 minutes. Anyone can do 25 minutes, right? During that break, you're supposed to do something completely unrelated to work. Step away from your desk, stretch, grab some water, look out the window. This isn't about scrolling through social media, which can sometimes just suck you in. It's about letting your brain truly rest and recharge before the next sprint. So after creating the folder, my 2-minute task, my next step was to set a timer for 25 minutes and just start dragging and dropping boxes onto a blank canvas for the website. No colors, no fonts, no pretty pictures, just basic shapes to represent where things would go. I told myself it didn't matter if it was ugly or made no sense. The goal was just to fill the page. And it worked. The timer went off and I had this mess, but it was a starting point. It was something tangible. During my 5-minute break, I made a cup of tea and didn't even look at my screen. When I came back for the next 25-minute block, I looked at the mess and thought, okay, this section should probably be higher up and I need a space for a call to action here. Suddenly, I wasn't staring at a blank page anymore. I was problem solving. The fear was gone, replaced by engagement. Annie also touched on the environment. She asked, where are you trying to work? I admitted I was at my kitchen table with unfolded laundry in the corner and my phone buzzing next to me. She pointed out that our brains create strong associations with our environment. If you work, relax, and eat all in the same spot, your brain gets confused. Is it time to focus or time to chill? Her advice was to create a designated work zone, even if it's just a small corner of your room. When you're in that zone, you only work. No phone, no snacks, no distractions. When you leave that zone, you leave work behind. This helps train your brain to switch into focus mode automatically when you sit down to work. It's like a mental on switch. Another huge takeaway was about self-compassion. I told Annie that when I procrastinate, I beat myself up over it. I call myself lazy, and that just makes me feel worse and even less likely to start. Annie reframed this completely. She said procrastination isn't a character flaw. It's often a coping mechanism for difficult emotions like the fear of failure I mentioned, or boredom, or feeling overwhelmed. Beating yourself up for feeling overwhelmed is like yelling at a lost child. It's not helpful. Instead, she suggested practicing self-compassion. Acknowledge the feeling. Say to yourself, I'm feeling really overwhelmed by this project, and that's okay. It's a big task. By acknowledging the emotion without judgment, you take away its power. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a friend who was struggling. From there, you can address the root cause. If you're overwhelmed, break the task down further. If you're bored, find a way to make it more interesting. Maybe listen to an instrumental playlist or promise yourself a small reward after a focus session. It's about managing your emotions, not fighting them. So let's recap the strategy that came out of this 10-minute chat. First, the 2-minute rule. If it takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. This builds momentum. Second, identify the smallest possible next step. Don't think about the whole mountain, just the first pebble you need to move. Third, use the Pomodoro technique. Work in short, focused bursts with breaks in between. 25 minutes of focused work is more achievable than all day. Fourth, separate creation from critique. Give yourself permission to make a messy first draft. The goal is progress, not perfection. You can be the editor later. Fifth, optimize your environment. Create a dedicated, distraction-free workspace to help your brain get into focus mode. And finally, and maybe most importantly, practice self-compassion. Procrastination is an emotional response, not a sign of laziness. Acknowledge your feelings and work with them, not against them. After my call with Annie, I didn't magically become a productivity machine overnight, but I had a toolkit. I had a clear, actionable plan. That afternoon, I did 2 Pomodoro sessions, just 50 minutes of work. But in those 50 minutes, I got the entire homepage wireframe sketched out, the thing I had been putting off for a week. The next day, I didn't feel that familiar dread. I just thought, okay, what's my first 2-minute task today? It was opening the design file. Easy. Then, okay, time for one 25-minute sprint to add some detail to the header. Manageable. By breaking it down and being kind to myself, I had dismantled the monster of procrastination and turned it into a series of small, non-scary steps. It's amazing how a short conversation can shift your entire perspective. Sometimes we're too close to our own problems to see the simple solutions. Talking it out, even with an AI, can help you untangle the knots in your own thinking. If you're feeling stuck on something right now, I really encourage you to try these things. Don't try to do them all at once. Just pick one. Maybe it's the 2-minute rule. Maybe it's just setting a timer for 25 minutes. Start small, be kind to yourself, and just begin. I hope hearing about my little experiment was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments which of these tips resonates with you the most, or if you have any of your own killer anti-procrastination strategies. I'd love to hear them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Bye for now.